Hi, my name is Candace Small, and in this video I will discuss what I have learned from my current course, Education 680, and how I will apply and integrate the strategies that I've learned into my leadership practice. This course, Education 680, Special Topics in School Administration, along with other courses that I've taken here at Fayetteville State University, has created a paradigm shift in the way that I view education. In teacher preparation programs, we are taught to focus on the content knowledge, ensuring that instruction aligns with the Common Core state standards, posting learning targets and essential questions for students to view and have an understanding of what they're learning, and for them to be able to self-assess or to self-reflect on whether they have mastered the standards taught. We were also pre-warned. I know for me, I was pre-warned in my pre-education, my teacher preparation program, of the stress and anxiety around preparing students for standardized testing. Although all of these things are important, they have taken away from the natural desire and enthusiasm that students have to learn. So learning should be fun and excited. Me coming from the elementary school level, that's something that I really believe. Classrooms should be filled with exploration and laughter, but the pacing guides and standards and testing for accountability has changed the way that we do education. So during this course and other courses that I've taken at FSU, my eyes have also been open to the iniquities that exist within our education system. I have learned the importance as an educational leader to create a school environment and culture that is equitable and inclusive, maintaining high expectations for all stakeholders. This is one thing that I can say about the school where I'm interning, E.E. Smith High School. Go Golden Bulls! Whoop, whoop. So our mission at E.E. Smith is fostering an equitable culture that breeds high expectations and high standards for all stakeholders. And I can truly say that our principal lives out this mission. He works towards making sure that all students are able to succeed, both academically and social-emotionally. Proper supports are put in place to help assist students. High expectations are maintained for students, faculty, and staff. So I've had the opportunity to be a part of the interviewing process for new hires for our school. We have interviewed for teachers, an assistant principal, school counselors, a librarian, and a bookkeeper. During each interview, questions were asked regarding diversity. Our principal makes sure that every staff member at E.E. Smith recognizes that we have students from different cultures and backgrounds who we have to build relationships with and meet them where they are in order to help them succeed. He makes sure that the whole school community is diverse, and in this case I'm referring to the nationalities, cultures, skills, talents, abilities, and languages. Our staff represents the culture of the students. They are relatable and able to understand and nurture the students' backgrounds and experiences. Now, whether content is relevant to students' background experiences is difficult to determine for me right now at the high school level because it is so content focused. And this is one of the improvements that I would say that our school could aim towards. As I observe classrooms, the instruction is very direct, where the teachers are giving lessons and students are sitting quietly and listening. At the elementary level, teachers are usually very fun, energetic, and engaging. For me as an elementary school teacher, I gave my students the opportunity to move around in the classroom. We sang songs, danced, and completed fun, hands-on activities to make learning engaging and lasting. I would often see my students sitting, they would sing quietly during their assessments. One of my favorite memories is teaching my kids the We Will Round You song that's similar to the We Will Rock You song. So I would see them, we will round you, round you. So I could like see them kind of, moving their lips and singing that song as they were taking their assessment. So find the place, look next door, 5 or more, you raise the score. 4 or less, you let it rest. Look to the right, put zeros in sight. we will round you. So little stuff like that we do at the elementary school level that would seem corny to high school students, of course, but it works for the elementary school students. So one thing that our book, Educational Leadership, and Louis Farrakhan discussed was the purpose of education. So I know for our school vision is preparing global graduates with class. So our C stands for college and career readiness, L for leadership, A, adaptable, S, stewards of learning, and the last S, strategic thinkers. So each student is expected to have a plan after graduation at E.E. Smith High School, whether it be going straight into the workforce or to college. We have a CTE program where students can concentrate on a particular career path, such as hospitality, automotive services, broadcasting, career management, cyber network and security, etc. We also partner with FTCC, Fayetteville Technical Community College, for our eligible juniors to be dual enrolled and take college courses along with their high school courses. So in order for students to take courses at FTCC, their GPA has to be 2.8 or higher. We have military recruiters come and speak to students who are interested in joining the military. We also have local colleges come and present information to students who want to attend college. Our counselors work with students and try to encourage them to have a plan for after high school graduation as well. Many of our students are first generation college students, and I can attest to this as well. It took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to do in life, but I believe that if I had similar supports to what our students at E.E. Smith has, it would have been much easier for me. So the purpose of education, according to Abul Petrie, from this book, Educational Leadership, and Louis Farrakhan. So on page 2, he mentions, Petrie mentions that one of the purposes of education is for students to free their hearts and minds to change the world and fully realize their potential. This is very different from our aspect, our normal aspect of creating or preparing students to be college and career ready. So this takes a whole nother outlook on the purpose of education, helping students fully realize their potential. And I love this aspect because it's important for students to discover who they are and what they were created to do. I was highly surprised by the spiritual nature of our textbook, because on page 8, Petrie writes that teachers in today's society have been reduced to technicians, and they are not educated to see the profession as a prophetic calling. And this really stood out to me because teachers are the ones in the school building who are working closely with students, building relationships, learning students' interests, and helping them to reach their fullest potential. This reminds me of an experience I have recently had during my internship where I was conducting a walkthrough of the school building just to make sure that students were in class and not roaming the hallways. But I happened to walk into an art classroom where the students were unsupervised because their teacher was out and they did not have a sub. So the kids were very well behaved, but they were unsupervised. So I ended up subbing for first period until we found a teacher who could sub for the rest of the class periods. And during this time, I had a great time going around the classroom and speaking to students, finding out their interests and encouraging them to walk in certain career paths. It turned into a prophetic environment where I was able to speak into the lives of these students. And I didn't actually realize the environment until later, after it happened, when I had a conversation with my assistant principal. And I was telling him, what happened in the classroom. And it was just such a great feeling to be able to interact with these students. Because usually as an administrator, you don't get the opportunity to be in the classroom interacting with students a whole lot, because your responsibility is not just the classroom now, but the whole school building. So I really, really enjoyed getting to know these students. And it was just awesome. So I agree with Petrie that teachers do have a prophetic calling, because you're getting to know those students on a personal level, and you're actually teaching them how to tap into that potential, because we all know that we were created for a purpose. We all were created for a purpose. And so to get students to realize that purpose and have their eyes open to it and to know what they were actually created to do in life is a great thing. I want to briefly also discuss the 3 things that I love about this class that I learned: leadership as love, transformative leadership, and servant leadership. On page 16, Petrie speaks about leadership as love, and just very briefly, he basically replaces the word love with leadership. When we look at 1 Corinthians 13 and it teaches us about love, it says leadership is patient, leadership is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrong. Leadership does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. So this is something that I actually want to figure out a creative way to print it out and have it look really nice and put it on my desk or something in my office to remind me of leadership and the characteristics and qualities that I should have as a great leader. And so I'm just really, really grateful for that reminder. Transformative leadership. So Petrie talks about that. On page 39, he mentions that transformative leadership involves addressing inequities that exist in society and leadership for social justice. So I'm still learning a lot about transformative leadership, but I'm just really, really grateful that at E.E. Smith, I have a mentor principal who is a transformative leader. He is able to come in and to actually transform the environment, transform the mindset of teachers and staffs, and also students in how they view themselves and others in the community. It's a very eye-opening experience, but Fayetteville State has really, really done something with me and through me to now develop this hunger in me to go out and to create this social change. So I look forward to learning even more about transformative leadership and walking in it. Last but not least, servant leadership. So on page 28, Petrie talks about servant leadership, and he makes reference to Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. So we have that basic human needs where they need food. People need food, water, and shelter. And then safety and security, belonging and love, self-esteem, and then finally self-actualization. So servant leadership actually talks about meeting the needs of those in the school community. And I love this because many times we're so focused on just what happens inside of the classroom, but there are students, we have to make sure that those basic needs are met first. You have students that come into the classroom and they're hungry because maybe they don't have food at home. You have students who don't feel safe or secure in their environment at home. You have some who don't feel a sense of belonging and love or self-esteem. So we want to make sure that we're meeting the need of students when they're in our presence. And that's what servant leadership is all about, meeting that need. And I know for E.E. Smith, our motto is born of need, destined to serve, striving to excel. So not only are we about transformative leadership, but also about servant leadership, meeting the need. So although I have thoroughly enjoyed this course and learning about special topics in school education, I have thoroughly enjoyed this course. I feel prepared to go out and run a school or to assist with running a school. Our instructors have done a great job preparing us for educational leadership. Not just imparting knowledge into us, but encouraging us to become the type of leaders that will cause change in social justice. I have learned a lot about myself and grown even in character. Before, I was very task-oriented, want to get the job done. But now I am more relationship-oriented. This has been a life-changing experience for me that I will forever be grateful for. So shout out to cohort 26 at FSU. Early congrats as we move forward to graduation and go on to be great leaders in the field of education.